I just played Oxenfree 2, and I have some opinions, but not enough to put on my main channel. More game opinions, if you will. I think this game struggled to fill the very large, clown-sized shoes of its predecessor. Oxenfree 1 was amazing. It was one of the first short, indie, story-based games that I ever played, which is a genre that I love now, and Oxenfree was probably a large part of that. Give me a short 3-hour game with a good story and I will eat that up. I gave the original game a 5 out of 5, but the sequel was more of a mixed bag for me. It wasn't all bad, but it wasn't as outstandingly brilliant as the first game. I think that the sequel relied too heavily on reusing the plot points and motifs that were in the original game, but the parts of the sequel that actually are new and different, I just didn't really like. What I really liked about the first game was that it was about 5 teens going to this creepy island, hanging out on the beach, playing Truth or Dare. But all of a sudden, things get creepy. The game is set up like a horror movie. Oh my gosh, you can use the radio to speak to ghosts. When you did actually speak to ghosts, or when you got stuck in a time loop, or when your friends would get possessed, that was scary. This game was basically a horror. The sequel, however, jumps straight into sci-fi. There is no build-up, no real introduction to the characters. You get thrown straight into ghosts, time loop, boom, bang. So it just doesn't hit as hard. Also, the ghosts and the space-time gimmick are not scary anymore because we've seen it all before. The developers did all of the same stuff in the first game. This lowers the scariness of it all and makes the game seem more like science fiction instead of horror. It just didn't feel the same. And I know the first game wasn't like a horror, okay? It didn't have me pissing my pants, but it had me feel something, and the second game had me feel nothing. It feels like the game should have done something new, but it doesn't. For example, in the first game, when Clarissa gets possessed and she jumps out the window or whatever, that evoked a reaction out of me. That was scary. When the ghosts move stuff around the room and make everything red and they play creepy radio noises, that was cool. I was like, whoa. But when the same thing happened in this game, it's like, yeah, I've seen this before, show me something new. What's more, the runtime of this game is double that of its predecessor, so the pacing is a bit weird at times. They seem to go deeper into lore in this game, but I never really cared about the lore too much. I was just here for the vibes. The original was captivating because you were worried about these kids who were split up on the ghost island. It starts off as a group of normal kids, and then they get thrown into the world of creepy ghosts. This game started off in the world of creepy ghosts. I don't know, I just didn't really care about what was happening in this game. I won't go into any plot details, but all of the plot points in this game didn't really captivate me. Rex, Riley's dad, Evelyn's sister, Olivia's parents, all of these things I didn't find that interesting. During parts of the game I also felt out of the loop, like I didn't fully understand what was happening. I don't think that switching to the two-character dynamic is all bad though. Riley and Jacob's relationship was interesting to watch, and I really enjoyed Jacob as a character. I just preferred the dynamic of the first game, where there were lots of characters and you would all be split up and travel with different folks at different parts of the game. Riley and Jacob are pretty cool characters on their own though. Just like the first game, the ambience and the vibes are amazing. Oxenfree 2 has some of the most natural sounding dialogue I've heard in any video game. It's the same dialogue system as the first game, but there have been some minor changes to it that make it a lot better. In the first game, when you would select your option, it would instantly cut off the person talking, which is stupid. In this game, it waits until the end of their voice line and then Riley will talk. Also, when you're traveling through areas, the conversation will continue. If someone is speaking, that line will actually finish playing during the loading screen. It's all just very natural, and the voice acting is great too. The game probably peaks for me whenever it's just giving pure hiking vibes. Just walking through these pretty and ambient environments with my buddy Jacob and having a conversation about life. So yeah, if this game were a standalone thing on its own, it would be fine, and I would probably like it a lot more. But this is the sequel to Oxenfree 1, and it simply cannot compare. I'm going to give this game a 3.5 out of 5. I was debating giving it a 3 instead, but I don't know. I said a lot of negative stuff in this review, but I think I was just disappointed that Oxenfree 2 couldn't stand up to its predecessor. The game is still a vibe and it's fun. Maybe I'll drop the rating to a 3 at some point, but for now this is an official MoreGameOpinions 3.5 out of 5. Thank you for watching.